Beat, girl. You had no beat. Ain't no, you gotta go do it. We're in. Hey. Woo, come on, let's clap it up. I had to get Kathy on beat. She over here. Woo, jingle bells, jingle bells.
Jingle all the way.
Woo! Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday, happy Sabbath day, and happy holidays. Mary. It is Christmas time.
Yes, it is.
Amazing. But you have joined us, yes, on Four Sisters Live. I'm Wyoming.
And I'm Kathy.
And this is Deborah Swinson and Karen Tillman. Yes, we have two guests here today. This is a special segment. And what I mean about being a special segment, all of our segments are very, very special.
Yes,
Let me just say that. However, today is going to be a topic, as you all know, what our first Saturdays are in the month. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking about a subject that we all still don't like to deal with. Mm-hmm. We don't like to touch it. We want to continue to sweep it under the rug. But it is a must that we share it. Mm-hmm. It's a must that we talk about it and continue to bring awareness to this situation. And this is what we're going to be doing today, having a conversation, ladies and gentlemen. This platform is a conversation about what's going on in our communities, in our homes, relative to domestic violence, the abuse of what is happening in our world, what is happening in your world, what's even happened in their world. Okay, even if it may not have happened in your world, you may know someone that is affected relative to domestic abuse. So we're going to get into that topic today. We are joyful. This is a happy time of the year. This is Christmas, and you know, we be joyous, and we want to continue to be joyous because we know as long as we're breathing, we have life in our breath, and we can move. We are able to make it a good day.
Right.
Continue to live, be prosperous, and everything. So these ladies are going to talk about what's happening, what's going on, what has even taken place in their lives relative to experiencing that area. They're working in that area, or they're helping out in that area. They are advocates in this area as well. So we're just really excited and happy to have them, because we need to continue to tell the story. You know, we have to tell the story. It's not all going to be gloom and glamour and rah-rah, yay, yay, but we have to take some time to really heal. You know what I mean? Healing. There's a healing process relative to what we're going through. And some of us are continuing to heal. You know, it's an ongoing process. Although we still may be doing things to go get through or get by, but we're still healing through that whole process. And so, and a lot of people are still smiling through it all. We're going to talk about that too. How do you smile? How do you continue to show these teeth that we have today through whatever we may be going through? So, but now I want to see what's going on. We got a lot of things happening for Sisters Live. We're just doing many, many things. Our lady, Charlene, she just received an award, which is the Russell Be There Magazine Award. We show that. Yes. So congratulations to her. A lot going on in her world as well. Peggy's always supporting somebody, somewhere. So we know that she will continue to support other sisters. This is what we do. This is what the company and the organization is about, supporting sisters. Whatever's going on, we try to be there to support each other, and that's a good thing. And so a lot of times we have to be able to just say, hey, let me go over here and take care of this. Let me go visit this person, and let me do this for these sisters. A lot of the sisters are in our circle.
Absolutely.
And so we want to support them. But we are happy to have one of our awesome sisters. She's so faithful. She sit on this side. She'll sit on that side. She'll sit on whatever side she needs to come in on. And I love her. Kathy, you are such a dear heart. What's happening in your world, girl?
Okay, well, hey, everybody. I just want to let you know that it's a real and exciting December. You know, don't remember, if you thought about it, anybody think about it, that this is closing out the decade.
Yes, it is.
This December closes out our decade.
Yes, it does.
As we move into 2020.
Absolutely.
Yes, but for today, I just want to let you know about some two events that I know that's going on that's really exciting. One is a member of our Sister for Sisters Network, Lael Desiree, is having her exciting designer holiday open house. So that's going to start at 3 p.m. today. She's located at 11748 Crestwood Drive in Brandywine, Maryland. So you can give her a call to RSVP at 240-353-8691. To RSVP, it's 240-353-8691. So she's offering designer outfits. She's offering discounts, and she says she has things that's starting as low as $5. So join her and support her business. Yes.
Yeah.
And also I want to let you all know that Beauty Encounter, that's a Black-owned beauty supply store off of Marlboro Pike. They're having an event today, jewelries and accessories. So I suggest if you're in that area, that's from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., go on out to her store and start purchasing your products from a Black-owned beauty supply store, okay? All right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We have to continue to stay in the Black.
Yes.
Even more so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we really do. It's we need to talk about supporting. We have a lot of our entrepreneurs who are out still trying to make things happen for themselves.
Yes.
And I'm seeing a lot more happening relative to stores, boutiques, restaurants, and other things that they're doing to now come in and continue to be a part of the community. Because years ago, that's what we were doing.
That's what we were doing.
This
That's right.
is who we were as as a people, as a community. We had stores, we had boutiques, definitely clothing stores,
Yeah, definitely.
definitely restaurants. We were owners of a lot of things, especially our land,
Insurance businesses.
insurance businesses, and we're now still, accounting businesses. Especially in the insurance business as well.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So I believe we're getting back to that.
We need to. Yeah, we need
Why
to
do you
support
think we
each
need
other.
to do that?
We need to, because I think you're only as strong as your financial base, and also you're only as strong as your support for each other. And as you know, we're one of the most financially abundant races here in America and beyond. So therefore, we need to spend our money with each other.
Yes.
And I think we should be kinder with each other too in our businesses. If you
Yes.
experience one occasion where someone is not treating you right, don't say, I'm never going back to that store again,
Right.
because guess what? You would
Right.
probably forgive another person
Yeah.
the first time. Oh, they made a mistake. So think about that. Think about that your black dollar matters, and spend your dollar with us.
That's good. That's a good talk right there, Kathy. That was very good. I really believe your service and how you treat people comes across when you are out in the public and you're trying to be about supporting the businesses. But there are people who really will give up on you quick.
Yeah, they will.
They'll
No,
give
one
up on you
mistake.
quick. They will not come. I'm not coming back here. I don't know what's going on, but
I know. Come on.
And so I think it's how you really look at a situation. And there are some people who just still will not support us.
Right. Right. They won't.
What do you say to that, Deborah?
Well, there are a lot of people who don't support us, but we still have to look at ourselves to make ourselves better, because the nonprofit that I support, we strive to do that, to make sure that, you have the life skills that you need on how to treat people, work on yourself. How do you come across every day? Every day you're not going to be happy-go-lucky. You're not good. And we have to have some forgiveness.
Yes, yes. I believe that's what Charlene is talking about, her business, and what she's out advocating about and having conferences. And she's out doing her thing on forgiveness.
Oh, forgiveness.
Yes,
That's
and
big.
we talked about that on the show.
Right.
How big that is.
Yes, and we have to, we want to show up our best selves each and every day, but sometimes it's just not that way, and forgiveness is a big thing.
And it is the way.
It is.
But,
It's
but
definitely.
I think if you, say for example, you're not having a good day, you don't want to show up, and then stay home or be quiet. But don't make that spill onto somebody else. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you're miserable, you be miserable.
Right.
But don't take it out on somebody else.
Take
And I
a step
find
back,
In
yeah.
many occasions, that happens. A person will have a bad day or bad attitude, and somebody just says hello to them, and they're gonna bite their head off. Stay
Yeah.
home.
Yeah. But people don't understand that process of they want to get out and make other people's lives miserable because their life may be miserable.
Yeah.
But having the mindset to say, you know what? It's not their fault.
That's
not
right.
their issue. This is my issue. And you have to turn that thing around. You have to internalize the fact that I have to be able to not let my feelings on my sleeve hurt someone else.
Yes.
Right. And we must learn to agree to disagree, but do it in love. We don't have to be mean, understanding that you don't know what that person might have gone through that particular day.
Yeah.
They could have had a death in the family. They had a bad
Yes.
relationship.
Yes.
Many things, financial problems, all of those things, and they haven't had the opportunity to really process it. And then this negative thing came up, and they just reacted.
Yeah. I think the human faults,
Yeah.
Yeah.
human frailties that we have, but we have to understand how to work in our spiritual realm.
Yeah.
Work not always on our emotionals and our emotions, but spiritually we have to get it within ourselves, and that's sometimes people don't understand that. How to separate dealing with that.
Right.
Where are you with the connection of God and yourself? How do you internalize that to have him to work with you and speak to you about how you should do certain things? And a lot of us don't have the relationship,
No, that's true too.
and that's a thing. We're going to talk about relationships today, talk about forgiveness, talk about what we just talking about right here. What if you're having a bad day, how do you deal with that?
Right.
Do you let your past experiences dictate how you're going to continue to live your life? How you're going to treat other people? And even treat yourself, because a lot of people don't even love themselves.
Right.
They don't even love themselves. And they're going through identity crisis of what they have to do to even tap into who they are.
Correct.
Right. You know what they say? Hurt people hurt people.
That's
Hurt
true.
people hurt people.
That's true. So we're going to get into this and a couple more other things that we're going to do on the other side of this break. But we're just going to take this ride today. I just feel that this is so necessary. we're going to help someone out there who's listening, seeing us, to know that I need this, even though this time of year is a depressing time of the year for people.
Yeah, some people, yeah.
And it's not, and some things could have happened during this time of the season to cause them to go through. So we're going to talk about that as well. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
It's that time of year again, filled with family, gifts, and lots of holiday cheer. Well, this season, give the gift of love. Donate a gently used or new coat to a family in need. It's the Vox Wave second annual coat drive. That's right. There's still time to get off of Santa's naughty list after November 1st. Come on down to Vox Wave at 4711 Off Place, Suitland, Maryland. Drop off that old coat and help us at Vox Wave keep the less fortunate warm this winter. Donate at 4711 Off Place, Suitland, Maryland. It's the Vox Wave second annual coat drive.
Yay.
Yeah.
And before we left, we were talking about the topics of forgiveness and love. And, of course, today our segment is on domestic violence. But even in that, how do you still go through that and forgive who hurt you? And how do you love a person that hurt you? Deeply hurt you, and darn near killed you. Because some of this stuff can take you out.
Yes.
Mentally, emotionally, can take you out. So how do you deal with this on a daily basis? Karen, how do you deal with this situation on a daily basis?
Well, first of all, when you've been abused, your best way to get over it is to do good. Don't let it get you down. Some people use drugs, drink. I never did that. I just kept my eye on the prize. That's the best revenge, is just keep moving.
Keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
Not let this really take you out.
Right.
Mentally.
Yeah, mentally, yeah. I mean,
How did you take the first step?
it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I grew up in an abusive home. When I saw my mother getting beaten all the time. And, I was molested and, it's really hard. I'm over 50 and still have nightmares. Still have nightmares, but you just got to keep going. That's the best revenge.
Because your life was such a horror almost.
Yes, my family, we were traumatized.
Yes, very much so.
We lived in a house with a serial rapist and a serial molester.
Yeah.
Wow.
And family knew, but no one knew what to do about it. I told my mother, she didn't know what to do about it because she was abused, So she was like, oh, he said you lying. So, I really kind of understood her because she was in danger also. But, you know, even family members, mothers, grandmothers, cousins, we all was abused, but nobody wanted to do anything. So just one day I just woke up and turned on the TV and see this man molesting someone in school. So I'm like, this has to stop. So I went to the trademark and got, I'm the owner of I'm Telling. I went and bought the trademark of I'm Telling. I went and got my tag saying I'm Telling. I'm like, somebody's going to listen to me. So I just started talking. Thankfully, you called me back. But a lot of people didn't call me back because they didn't want to talk about this subject.
And they don't. That's why I said it in the earlier.
A lot of people.
We don't want to talk about this subject.
Nobody wants to talk
We do
about
not
it.
want to deal with it. We want to continue to just keep it a secret.
Yeah,
Sweep it under the rug like it's going to go anywhere, you know, in our lives. It's not.
yeah.
We see it happening every day. And
Every
ladies and
day you
gentlemen,
turn
it is
the
still
TV.
happening, whether you're
Yes.
black, white, Asian, African. We don't
Latino.
Yeah.
Latino. It doesn't matter. It's not race related. It hits everyone's home.
Yeah.
Domestic violence hit everyone's home, and we see it. Doesn't matter your status. It doesn't matter if you're preacher, teacher. Doesn't matter if you're doctor, lawyer. It does not matter.
It does not matter. But
And
no,
and
but it's very hard to talk about.
And it's very hard to talk about it. Why? Because people just, I think in our DNA along the way, we were taught to be quiet.
Exactly.
And also shame.
Exactly.
And shame.
It's a shame.
People
Shame,
are very
guilt,
shameful,
everything.
guilt and everything.
I think also pride too, because I mean, I got to experience it, you know, firsthand, and got to see that it wasn't just, you know, open. You know, you coming from a suburban lifestyle, and then you having the person to victimize inside of the home, keep it quiet because you don't want the public to know, because we hold certain positions and power, and so now you are afraid to tell. And if you tell, then you're the liar.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
can you beat them in court? Do you have enough money without them making you look like you're the liar, that you are the one who's causing trouble for this innocent man? And I looked at the case, and the Penn State coach, I don't know if you guys remember him. The Penn State coach was in Raleigh, North Carolina. He was heavily known. Everybody knew him.
Everybody knew.
You know what I'm saying? And they were making him seem like he's the king and God. Well, what was happening, his wife was not telling.
Turn it back.
He was bringing the young guys inside of the home,
Right.
right? And he would take them to the basement. The wife said she thought she knew something, but she said it was just innocent. So when these children would come back 20 years later saying, you knew what happened, woman.
in
You
denial.
turned your head. You even came down one time when you seen my clothes off, said the young guy. It was so horrible, but I was so blessed to see that he is now serving time in prison. But again, the public did not want to believe it. They were like, you're innocent. They were putting up signs, you're innocent. We love you, coach such and such. I was like, oh my God, all because he was a household name.
Right.
And that happens when people try to make themselves look good. You know, they carry this facade like they're this and they got it going on. And behind the scenes in their life, they're living double lives.
They are.
You know, they're carrying themselves where people can really trust you, because that's what it's about. If you get a young lady, young man, of course, anyone to trust you, that's what happens. And then you gain that trust. And again, I just said it doesn't matter what status you are. You could be a coach, teacher, judge.
Yeah, they don't care.
It doesn't matter.
Makes it easier for them.
Yes.
Makes it much
It
easier.
makes it much easier for them. So, but when you're living it in the home, it is very traumatizing.
Yes, it is.
It is awful. I read your book, ladies and gentlemen. Karen Tillman, she started talking about her book. She's an author of I'm Telling. And I'm telling you, I started reading this book. I had to put it down several times.
It's depressing.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Did you really live like that?
But worse than that. I couldn't put everything down in it, but yes.
Baby,
I can't. I have not read the book, so I'm so
get the book.
looking forward to the book. My cousin wrote a book, and when she told me her grandfather in D.C., what he did to her and tried to get her to marry the molester, it was horrible. And he was a church pastor, so I already know whatever's in your book is going to be like triple that.
'Cause
I
once,
just
once I started talking, people were coming up to me. Oh, he did that to me too. Oh, he came to my room
Now
too.
they want to say
I'm like,
something about it.
now
because
everybody
you're
wants
opening
to.
up.
Now
why
everybody
didn't
wants
they
to like.
tell before? Why wouldn't they say? I mean,
Because they were
I don't
afraid.
know, like,
But you have to know my abuser in my house. He was a DC known person
that part.
who they were afraid of.
Okay.
They were afraid of him.
Okay.
And all the men in our family was afraid of him. So whatever he did, he did.
And absolutely, and he gained that fear. He put that in you. People put that fear in you so much until that's what you walk around in fear, and you're scared, and you don't want to say anything, and you're barely living. You're walking dead. You are a walking dead person, literally almost dead, because you don't know if you're going to wake up the next day.
Right.
But you have to be in the hands of this person, and that person was sick.
But what made you? What gave you the courage
Yeah,
to
I
tell?
want to
You know,
talk
I've-
about. I want to talk about the other side. We're going to take a break because I want to come back because you have a definite story to tell, and we need to hear it. And I want you to talk about it. What you got in this book. But we're going to come back after the break. Yeah, good stuff.
Okay.
Give a toy to a child in need. It's the Vox Way 2019 second annual toy drive. It's all for the kids. From December 1st through December 22nd, drop off a toy for the less fortunate at 4711 Off Place, Suitland, Maryland. And let's work together to make this holiday special.
Let it snow. Let it snow.
We're back. We're here talking about domestic violence and what's happening in our community, in our homes. And we're having a conversation with Deborah Swinson and Karen Tillman, who is an author. She decided to step out on her own faith to decide, I'm telling, because her life was such a horror. When you're going through this, you don't think you know someone else could be going through it this bad. You look at someone else's story, it's like, how we say, ooh, I would trade to live with you. No, I don't think you would want to. Don't say that. You see other people living a certain lifestyle, and you think, oh, I would love to be there. No, I don't think you would like to be in my shoes.
Right.
But Karen, I was really engaged in your book when I started reading it, because I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
Of course, I didn't know.
Right.
And as I started, the first page, you came out with a bang. The first page, when you started telling your story.
When I was born.
Yeah. How he hated you.
Well, this has to be with molestation and colorism. I grew up in a family where I was the only light-skinned person in the house, where he hated light-skinned people, and he couldn't imagine making a light-skinned child because he was very dark. So that's what happened. That's why I was abused. But this is really about colorism and all kinds of stuff, which people need to talk about also.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Because the black community think when you're lighter, you better. When you're darker, you're not, and it's not true.
Is it all about how they see color in their own eyes?
I don't know what it is, but I experienced everywhere I went, is she y'all sister? Is she really y'all sister? Which I was. We all biologically his kids, but I just happened to be
And that's
lighter.
the trip part about it.
I-
Did you just hear that?
How many
What?
kids? How many were you?
It's 6 of us. 6 of us.
And all of you were his biological
All
children.
of course, my mother was afraid of him, so she couldn't, have other kids. But
But the part of
but I just
biological
can't-
father did this.
Yeah.
yes,
Not stepfather.
yes,
Oh
yes.
no, yeah,
yes.
that's what's happening.
Yeah,
And
but that's what
he
happened.
couldn't understand how can he have a light-skinned child with all his other kids dark.
But he understand your lineage of how other people in your family could
But
have
yes,
been like
yes,
skin, and you could have taken on that trait.
Right.
Yeah, but I couldn't understand it. I used to hide, and like every time we go out, oh, she has beautiful skin. I'm like, please don't say that because I'm going to be abused when I get home. I'm like, please don't say anything about my complexion, which I've gotten darker now, thank goodness. I shouldn't say
Right.
that, but
No, right.
I shouldn't say that. But I'm talking about,
I mean, at the time, you didn't understand.
I didn't
You were
understand
not-
why
you were
I was
naive
singled
to a
out.
lot of
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But everywhere we went, they always single me out. And I'm like, please don't say nothing about my complexion. Because he never understood,
I want to switch your gear a little bit, and we're going to come back to you, Deborah. Deborah is a CEO, president, and she has her own nonprofit organization of GTE 14.
Girl Talk Empowerment.
Girl Talk Empowerment. Talk about that and what's going on with that.
Well, Girl Talk Empowerment for Teens was birthed out of my experience going into the Prince George's County Correctional Facility. I did prison ministry for the last 16, 17 years. And many times when you go, you come out feeling differently, and you have empathy for people because 9 out of 10 of the women who were incarcerated had a sexual abuse, a child molestation story. I mean, that's not something that they had to share. It was something as a cleansing to help them get through that they were told, don't tell. What happens in our family stays in this family.
or the
we don't-
family will be killed if you tell.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. And so you never, as a victim, you never have a chance to process what's happened to you. And so you go through life just existing, just managing, and whatever crimes that you committed is because you haven't dealt with what's happened to you as a youth growing up. And all the time that I've been there were maybe about 10 women that I saw regularly where they would get out, they would come back, they turn to drugs because they're trying to
Ease the pain.
ease the pain, to numb it. And so what made me start it was pastor at the church I attended talked about giving back. And I did it. I decided to start it because life skills are important. We make decisions every day when we wake up. What we're going to wear, what we're going to do. We need financial literacy. So people who have been abused, they're in abused relationships, they need a way out. You need to know that.
Yes.
You know, we want to solve that problem with self-esteem so that girls know that they have an out, that there are things that you can do.
Yes.
That things that happen to you, know how to problem solve. That you can say, it's not anyone's fault but my own because I know I need to do A, B, and C and take some steps to do that.
What are the ages?
It's middle through high school, so it could be 11 to 18. Middle and high school girls of color. Because we want them to get every opportunity that so many other communities have that we don't necessarily have. They get the education in school. We try to do role plays. You know, we want to start with the goal, make it practical. The workshops that are coming up would deal with a product. So many young girls, they like jewelry, they like doing hair, and we want to help prepare them. You know, you want to be a hairdresser. What does that take? Let's set some goals. What does that look like? Create your plan. What does your plan look like? You're going to have to tweak that plan. What does that look like? You need to talk to people. You have to raise money, and you need to figure out some things to do. You have to engage people. You have to create budgets. So we want to be able to
To help
empower.
them to understand what life is going to be about.
Right.
This is a training ground.
It's a training ground, and it's going to be practical things, real life scenarios that they actually. It's going to be all about them, whatever it is, whatever goal you have. that process is the same.
So these are life skills for girls
Yes,
of color.
for girls of color.
That's great.
So do you have volunteers to help you with those life
We had a lot of
skills?
volunteers in the past, so we still could use volunteers, but what we're trying to do this year is try to go through the program so that we can follow these girls from beginning to end. Do a pre-evaluation to see what their goals are, what they're trying to achieve, and at the end, see how they've grown as a result of the program, and to help with funding, because we really want to guide them and transition them into adulthood. So they're just not out there, and you want the latest and the greatest, because a lot of young people want what they see their parents have now.
Oh my goodness.
Versus I remember my husband and I our plaid couch that somebody gave us.
Right.
But you have I see they have some questions here like, do your parents make all your decisions for you?
Right. So how do you show? How does your daughter show up? Are you making decisions for her, or do you question her about, what have you tried? So if she has a problem in school, what has she tried? Has she studied, or has she been social media?
Right.
What are some steps that she can take to get those better grades? Beating her in the head, telling her what she needs to do. Talk about some options as alternatives to get her from that D grade to that A grade or B grade or whatever.
But don't make them feel bad if they're not.
Don't make them feel bad, but you're getting them to think. You're problem solving. They're making decisions than what they would normally make, because you say, you need to do this, this, and this. Have a conversation. Sometimes we have to engage it. We want to go back to when I was growing up, I did this, this, and this. But kids have much more exposure to things that we didn't at that time.
So you're teaching the parents how to have that conversation with their daughters.
It's more for the children that I hope that they would share with their parents, that they would take a different stance, because they would have some maturity and understand where their parents are coming from. Because I try to act like this parent when I'm there.
Oh, so
I was going to say, what I find today is that when I was growing up, if my mother said, do this, it's like, okay, I will. But today, when you tell a child,
They
do
buck
this,
back.
it's like, now, why do I need to do this?
And then
What's
you
the
don't
reason for
understand.
doing
Right.
this? So it's like you have to look at them from where they are,
Right.
and not from what you experienced as
Right.
a child.
Right.
You know?
And remember some of the things, some of that mischievous behavior that we had as young women growing
Yes.
up, thinking we had the answers to everything.
Yeah.
And we have to remember that we were their age, and
That's
we
right.
did some things that we may not necessarily be proud of, but have some empathy, still being the parent, but giving them something to think about.
Yeah, that's
Giving
And
them
so
options.
I think, parent education is very important. Cassie was my first daughter, and I had her right at a freshman at college, and I had no clue. But as I grew and she got to like the 10th and 11th grade, I'm like, oh my God, she's smelling herself, right? And if it wasn't for the ministries that I were in, where there were older seasoned saints to teach me how to treat her, because they knew what they did to their daughter, and I also saw how my oldest sister reacted to my mom and rebelled against her. So I looked at all that. I'm like, this is my only daughter. It's my only child at the
Right.
time. How do I want to respond? So I put a lot of wisdom around me to say, how do I raise her? And one of the secrets I give all the mothers, I'm like, when they say they're having problems with their daughter, I'm like, honey, kick her out, right? So I'm not literally saying kick her out, have a plan, right? So we had a plan, and Chassie will tell you this day, where we got with some people inside of our church. And I said, well, I need you to keep her for, 15 to 30 days. I'm going to tell her that she got to go because you bucking up against me, and I throw kids downstairs, and I don't want to go to jail. So, and so
Options.
options, honey, options. So we had a sit-down conversation with Chassie, and I said, you're going to go with sister such and such, and you're going to be with them. And it just changed her life, because she thought she was gone for real. I mean, she got this lifestyle over here, and she got to go live in somebody else's house and eat their food, and like she ain't talking to her mom. Like, it just changed her life.
Right.
But I say parents should come together with other parents that you trust, of course, because we already know that you trust, and tag team like that. But it changed her life, and it changed my life too, and it had us to respect one another and what each other is going through. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that it takes a skill to even do that. In terms of parenting, And then you talk about young motherhood. A lot of these young girls are raising their own children.
Right,
Yeah.
they're young and they didn't get the life skills that they needed to do, so they're trying to operate with what they think they know.
Right.
So it can be challenging, and that the sisters that you had in your church where they would stand up, you may not necessarily find that everywhere.
Yeah.
People who are really willing to do that, where we were the village that raised the
village,
children.
yes.
Sometimes the village is like, no, this is my child. So,
Right.
you know, they don't want the
Exactly.
help. And so you have to discern and figure out what works best for you, because as adults, we really have to take a step back and maybe have a conversation with girls versus judging them, talking about what they're wearing, what color their hair is blue, green, whatever. Because I see a lot of old women, they got purple, green, and blue hair.
It always has.
Some
They
things
were
you
doing
just
that.
have to
Yeah.
Let it go.
let it
Choose
go
your
and let
battles.
them
Yeah.
evolve
Yeah.
and have a conversation and engage them. They want to do adult things, have adult conversations
Yeah.
to talk about some of the life skills, because they have
good.
to make the
They're going
decisions.
through.
They need to solve some of their problems.
Yes.
Good.
They need to understand financial literacy. If you get your paycheck, if you're working, what are you doing with your money? Are you going to the mall, spending it all?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's good.
And you have a good program. You have a
Thank
very
you.
good program. We're going to put some more information out on your program. When we come back after this commercial, we're still engaging, talking about domestic violence, the abuse of it all. How do we forgive, and how do we continue to love during that process? We'll be right back.
Year again, filled with family, gifts, and lots of holiday cheer. Well, this season, give the gift of love. Donate a gently used or new coat to a family in need. It's the Vox Wave second annual coat drive. That's right, there's still time to get off of Santa's naughty list after November 1st. Come on down to Vox Wave at 4711 Off Place, Suitland, Maryland. Drop off that old coat and help us at Vox Wave keep the less fortunate warm this winter. Donate at 4711 Off Place, Suitland, Maryland. It's the Vox Wave second annual coat drive.
We're back. Hey. I want to say a few things, make another announcement before we go any further. We're going to do some wonderful things coming up in 2024. Sisters
Oh, yeah.
Live is going to do some wonderful things
Amazing
in 2020.
things.
Amazing
Yes,
things.
amazing.
Right, Charlene?
Absolutely. You want me to tell them, or you
Yes,
want to tell
them. I
them?
want you to tell them.
But
Let
guys,
the people
I-
here see
I
how
am-
yes, you tell them.
I am so proud to announce, with the collaboration, because that's what we stand for, is working together on purpose, for a purpose, that our executive producer, Wyoming, and, Linda, and
Yourself.
Peggy, yeah, okay. She has to help me with myself, okay? So starting next year, we're going to be at the Busboys and Poets. Yeah. Yes, and we're going to be
Live.
recording live there and having special guests. I mean, super special guests. And you're going to have an opportunity to actually have lunch with us.
Yes.
Have lunch with us, not on us, okay?
Make that clear.
Yeah, so I was supposed to say that to you guys, but yeah, come out and have lunch with us at Busboys and Port in Southeast DC, like starting in February. We're excited about what we're going to be talking about. We start off with the health and nutrition, with Linda, and then we go into domestic violence and education, and also Peggy's entrepreneurship. And I'm talking about these are going to be some guests. Like, you guys are extraordinary also, so you guys might be invited back on to have those conversations while people are eating lunch. But we're excited.
Yeah, very excited about that.
I don't even know what guests to tell you, because I'm like,
yeah,
we got some
yeah.
secret guests,
Yeah.
okay?
But the thing of it is, we're getting out in the community.
Yeah.
And that's what we have. Our slogan is the community in you. We're getting out and making sure that we can spread this information. How do we get it out there? Because a lot of people still need to know that they are loved, that they have self-worth, that they can have their own business, that they can be healthy, that you can get a good education,
Yes.
that you can be a good parent, you can be a good person,
Yes.
you can support a sister and not hate on a sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of these conversations we have, we want to take it out there and let people
right.
know who we are, because we're not just here just to be talking. We're here because we
Yeah.
want to make a difference
In our community.
in life. Because I'm telling you,
Yeah.
when we're talking, it does affect me as well. I'm not just sitting here trying to put it out there. It really bounces back to me. All of the things that we talk about affects me as well. And I put myself in this position that I need to know I can continue to support a sister. And I love doing that. That I want to share, I want to forgive, I want to love, I want to be the best me, I want to do better. You know, all of these things, I want to live a healthy life.
Right.
I want to continue to share knowledge and then receive it.
Exactly.
I love it. I love
You know,
it.
I also think too, when you work on improving yourself, when you work on improving
That right
yourself,
there.
you do not have time for negativity.
You
You
don't.
do not have time for gossip. You do not have
Yeah.
time for ill will, because
Yeah.
you're working on yourself and you want to be around people that are going to lift you up and not bring you down. And I just want to say, when you find a person in your circle that's not supporting you or has negative things to say about you, then it's time to let them go. Just say, I'm sorry.
Cut them off
Girl, play Pac-Man on them real quickly, honey.
and let them go and let them go. So this is what we're talking about in Busboys and Poets. We're going to have a great time doing it.
It's going to be great.
And also what's happening, that's next year, but what's happening coming in recent is December the 22nd, Razzle Dazz.
Yeah.
Go to razzledazz.com. That's an
Razzledazz.com,
awesome
yes.
holiday event that you could dress up and be mademoiselle. You know, you just come in and it's going to be an awesome entertainment and food. And that's going to be held December 22nd. We're going to have the guests in next week to talk about that. It's going to be great entertainment. That's going to be going. We're going to have a lot of giveaways and private silent auctions.
Silent
It's
auction.
going to be really VIP reception. You ladies got to come.
Where is
You
it?
must
You gotta
come.
come.
The
Tell 'em what's that.
National Golf Club
The golf club, yes.
in Fort Washington.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yep.
It's gonna be that's
Okay.
very,
That's
very
going to be
nice.
awesome.
I'm
Wear
going
your
for the
best
singing.
gown.
I love me some Norman.
Yes,
he can sing.
he can sing.
Yes,
and
I-
he's he's gonna be a national recording artist, of course.
Yes.
But they're gonna have other artists there that they've auditioned lately, and they're gonna showcase them
Yeah.
to come up and share their talent. They're gonna the ones who won, they're gonna be signed to a producer and get a recording deal. Yeah, it's gonna be really nice. It's gonna be a nice, and this is given by my girl was Zavita.
Zavita.
Savita.
Yeah.
She will be here next week as our guest. Also, it will be co-hosted by Sylvia Trey Morrison.
Oh, okay.
She's going to be
Great.
along with Chris. What's my boy Chris?
Thomas?
Thomas.
Chris Thomas gonna be here.
Chris Thomas going to be there, and they'll be here next week. So,
Oh, okay.
So
it's gonna
everybody,
a
so
good
be in the
day.
house and stay tuned and go to
It's gonna be
YouTube and
good.
share, girl. Right?
And it's going to be good.
Yes.
So I want you all to just, like I say, look out. But go on Razzle Dazz, RAZZLE Dazz, DAZ.com. Check out all the information. If you want to be a vendor, say you want to be a vendor.
Yeah, just check it out.
And you will get the
Razzle
four Sisters for Sisters live discount.
Discount. We're worth
And
something. We have
no,
some
and
weight.
donate. Go there and donate whatever you can, because the money that you donate will go towards the domestic violence,
Yeah. Right.
which benefits Sisters for Sisters Network,
Network.
Domestic Violence, and Four Sisters Live, and Sisters Helping Sisters.
Okay.
Sisters Helping Sisters. If you go and donate, that helps us to continue the path that we need to go on to help our young girls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what's going on. And when we talk about the young girls, Deborah Swinson is part of our committee on what we're doing with Sisters Helping Sisters. She, and
So
along
proud
with
of her, yeah.
about 12 other young ladies or 13 other ladies or so, including myself, I'm the visionary of Sisters Helping Sisters, and that means our sisters, older sisters helping our younger sisters.
Did
to
you tell them
come.
about the play that you're going to be putting on next year, sometime soon, about teenagers being abused, like domestic violence? Did we
Domestic
talk
violence,
about that?
yes,
That
that's
is-
going to
yeah.
happen. That's going to be. I'm working on that. you all know about my play Then Sings My Soul, and that is a musical on domestic violence. We're going to talk about that more. We're going to share that. Thank you, Charlene, for mentioning that.
It just blesses my heart
want
because
our
it could have been
young
me.
girls- I
Yes.
understand. We're going to branch out, and we're going to help these young girls even more. We need
Yes.
something to let them know. When they hear your story, they would probably like, they would probably stand at attention.
Because her story is their story, and
Yes.
because some of them are acting out because they were in homes like her, you know, and they're running away and they're going to drug abuse,
Running
or
away.
they're accepting
Running
the
away.
guy.
And this is
to
what's
hit them.
happening
Yeah.
with women who are being taken and snatched.
Yeah.
You know, and that's going on a lot now. Our young girls are being snatched.
They're watching them.
And they're watching them. You're setting them up for failure if you do not help them.
If
they
you do
don't
not
get
tell.
help, if you do not tell.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, if you do not tell, let's
if
talk
you do
about
not tell.
that.
So Sisters Helping Sisters event is going to be happening next month at Fairmont Heights High School in Landover, Maryland, January the 24th. It's on a Friday from 1 to 3 in their auditorium. So the school wanted to bring the kids and help them understand what it is to get this message.
Right.
It's a message and a movement. You know, we have to be the ones to set the pace and set the tone for
we
this.
do.
So we got to get out in the community. We're in the community. That's part of the community. Getting in
Absolutely.
these schools, talking to these young girls from the ages that you have with your organization as well, and the young girls that are in the school, because it's happening in the schools. They are going around thinking that it's okay for a boy to touch them and say that they love them, or they're getting bullied, or all of these things. So we're going to set the pace to have a production. We're going to have some conversation with them. We're going to have entertainment with them on that day at the school. The school is partnering with us to make sure that it works. Yeah. So the title for that is #Unmuted. #Unmuted. All of you all have to get a T-shirt.
Okay.
I want that T-shirt.
#Unmuted, and it's logs, LOGS, levels of generational silence.
So can I jump in here? I know
Sure.
Kathy was talking about forgiveness, and I'm doing the forgiveness project, guys.
Yeah.
It'll happen next year at the Kennedy Center, but right now at Busboys and Poet, what we're doing, this is a strong one. I'm partnering with Dr. Celeste Owen. She's going back to Africa, where there's a leprosy farm there, where they've been outcast, to help raise money to have them to be able to work again. So on December the 18th, we're actually raising funds, and we're doing something called Forgive Our Prejudice. And the prejudice is that if a person gets leprosy, like you don't want anything to do with them.
Right.
It's just like the HIV and the AIDS deal. You don't want anything to do. So what you do, you deprive them economically, and that's why they become homeless. That's why they become, you know what I'm saying? They're living on the streets because we say you're out. You don't touch us, don't talk to us, and that's what's happening in Africa right now. And we're saying let's make them a part of society again. Give them back their hopes and their dreams, and say, listen, you have your house, you have some income or whatever, but we're actually doing some of the skits on that. Busboys and Poets on December the 18th in Tacoma Park. Yeah, December the 18th from 7 to 9 o'clock. So I'm excited about that. But again, the book I wrote was about forgiveness, and the plays I'm putting on is about forgiveness. And the first person that you should forgive is yourself.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
it wasn't you that the intruder came upon. It wasn't you. So that's what I had to learn. It wasn't me. So forgive myself. So I beat myself up for those things. It wasn't you that caused your house to get lost. It wasn't you that lost a job, that she didn't like you, whatever. So forgive yourself first and then move on, you know, in your life. So
And
yeah.
that's what we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive. Do you forgive the person who hurt you? Do you forgive yourself? Do you love the person who hurt you? Do you even love yourself?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that one more time. We're going to have one more round of a commercial. Come back. We're going to close out because I want to continue to share with you so that you can continue to help someone understand
Please,
that their
yes.
life didn't have to be, your life don't have to be their life.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Out in need. It's the Vox Way 2019 second annual toy drive. It's all for the kids. From December 1st through December 22nd, drop off a toy for the less fortunate at 4711 Off Place, Suitland, Maryland. And let's work together to make this holiday special.
we're back. And as you know, we're talking about that word that we never want to discuss. We want shh. Domestic violence, domestic abuse. Oh yeah, I was hurt, and my husband almost did this, and he did that, and I was raped. But shh, don't tell nobody. Miserable. They are miserable. You had a life where you couldn't even tell anybody. Your mother lived with this day in and day out. And then, now I want to read a part of this. This was just, my brother, he wrote you a poem, A Broken Rose. And you said, my little brother and I were scared to death of my father. If we heard his keys jingling at the front door, we would run and hide, not wanting to be in the target for that day. After coming home, he would walk into the kitchen to make sure that dinner was cooked and also to check if anyone had touched his dessert. He loved his dessert after dinner. If he found out that you had touched his dessert, he would make you put your hands on a hot radiator or stove. This is how he tortured us. My brother wrote the following poem about my experience. There she lies in her bed, the time of night, oh how she dreads the brass knob turning on the door, a darkened image that was there before. She prays to God every day to make it stop. Please go away. But over and over her gowns will rise. Frozen with fear, she shuts her eyes. A faint whisper in her ear, a painful moan that no one hears. Her hands are tightly bound to her bed, a substance flow of color red. Her rose has been broken before she weds. Now the sun has begun to rise, and as she wipes the tears from her eyes, she keep it a secret and never tell. A voice in her ear, she knows it well. Oh, how she wishes it all would end, but the night will fall. He'll be back again.
Wow.
Yeah.
And her brother wrote that?
My brother wrote that for me.
Wow.
And he knew that
Because they knew,
Knew the pain that you were
and they
going
couldn't do anything.
through. Yeah.
and how you talked about he kept guns in the house.
Yeah, he was a DC
Savior.
serial rapist, serial molester, DC informant, and he was a hitman. Yes, he was a hitman. And he knew people. He was in jail for rape, so he knew people were out to look for him. So we had guns everywhere in our houses, every house, because we kept the shades down. We were living in fear because someone was always trying to kill him because he used to rape people.
Wow.
And we even had a hitman knock on our door trying to get to him. So it was a really horrible
And you say
life.
he hated you.
He hated me because of my skin color. He hated light-skinned women.
So he took that out on you
Yes.
and abused you sexually.
Yes, mentally, physically, and sexually. Yeah, he hated light-skinned women. And in the book, you can figure out why he hated light-skinned women.
Yeah,
because-
this book is heavy.
yeah. But
Yeah. Tell
yeah.
people, are they able to get your book?
well, it won't be available until January
Okay,
because
no
it's
worries.
been
Yeah, that's
Do you have a email address they can email you? For
They can
Or what? How can they reach
contact
you?
me on Twitter.
Okay.
Karen P. Tillman, KT. It's
Karen
on Twitter,
P.
and you'll see
Tillman.
I'm telling.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it was a horrible life. But
Yeah.
I need to let people know that I want to encourage kids to start telling,
Okay.
because they'll tell you, "Oh, we're gonna kill your parents. We're gonna kill you." They really don't. You know, they really not gonna do it. But you have to encourage kids these days to tell.
But
Because
how did they tell?
the cycle is going to keep going. Every time you turn on the TV, there's a man just molested somebody else.
But how did they tell? Who should they tell? Like, if it was happening to me, like it didn't happen to me, but like, how do they tell now? Like, to go to the school counselor. I know
You
my
have
son
to
went
go to the school. I mean, sometimes it's not, the family don't even help you. My family didn't help.
Yeah.
But you have to tell somebody that you trust in the school, or I don't know. this is what I'm trying
And
to
that's the
figure
thing
out.
we talked
That's
about
a
earlier.
whole
Who can
nother
you trust?
movement right
I
there.
know.
Yeah.
Like, how
Yeah.
do you get
You-
me away?
Yeah.
How do you prove that this man has touched me after they've done your, I don't know, analysis and they found out that you have been touched? I think they should take you away immediately and say, we're not putting you back in the home. Did he do this? Like in the age that you are, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think they should take the child. But
Yeah.
it's so much drama.
But it's hard. They try
Yeah.
to make it like, don't believe a 5-year-old or
Right.
6-year-old.
Yeah.
Because I can remember when I started in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Kindergarten, that's when it started happening.
Yeah, because you talked about you were afraid to even go to school
Yeah.
Wow.
5 years old.
at
Yeah.
5 years old. She
Yeah,
was
but,
petrified of people.
Because we were only allowed to be in the family because we had so many secrets. So we didn't have friends. So when I went to school, I'm like, who are these people, and why am I
couldn't come over
here?
your house.
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
visit
yeah.
you. Could
We-
you go out to play?
We played with family. We always had this big secret in the family because this man raped everybody and he molested everybody. So the secret was we couldn't really communicate with outside people.
So once you got around other people,
I started
you were
coming
aloof.
out.
You were
Yeah.
separated.
I-
You didn't know how to deal with that.
Right.
And that happens still. You grow
Right.
up and you can't be around people. That is something that you grow up with. When you understand why people can't deal with other people because of a childhood situation.
Exactly.
They're
Yeah.
And that
isolated.
secret.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's a
wow.
secret.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You never got out of that torment of yourself, of your life.
Yeah.
So as you grew up, no one helped you to even get counseling for it.
Right. And I didn't
So you
trust
raising
people.
yourself, you didn't trust people.
I didn't trust people. I was angry
Low
all the
self-esteem.
time. I was angry all the time and didn't trust anybody.
How did you get out of the house?
15, I ran away.
I just told you,
job.
they run away. They get and they run
Yeah,
away.
I'm like
saved you at
I
15?
planned it. I planned it for a long time.
get
So
smart
I got to
at that
figure out
age.
how to get out of here.
Yeah. It helped. It makes you say one will either I'm going to get out dead or alive, and
You
get
know, I
out.
was gonna say, like, listen to you though. It sounds like he used the abuse as a weapon to keep
Yeah.
everybody quiet.
I don't know what was in his head.
It's like a weapon or something.
Something happened to him.
Oh,
Okay,
for sure.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to go back,
It's a cycle.
I tried to figure out why he was like that because he had a light-skinned sister and a dark-skinned sister, and he was dark-skinned. So the mom used to always idolize the light-skinned person, the light-skinned sister. So I'm thinking maybe that triggered something. I think that triggered something, and then
And did he drink a lot? Drugs? Or?
he did marijuana, but he didn't drink a lot. He wasn't. He had good sense. He was just evil and
he still alive?
sick. He wasn't in drugs. I mean, marijuana. But
Yeah, but that's not
Marijuana.
as
Not-
harsh.
I'm just
That was
saying-
his pastime. That was his pastime.
Yeah.
He was just a
Chickens
mean.
he was
mean
just
part.
evil, a very
evil soul, dark
Mm-hmm.
and evil. And then he took it out on
Yeah.
his own biological child.
He had 6 children.
Yeah,
And so he just had issues,
yeah,
deep issues.
deep issues.
Very. Is your mother? Is she still?
She's
with
still
us?
here. She's still here.
And how
I
does
mean, she's doing okay, but you can tell she's been through it. She's been with him since she was 15. My mother's
Yeah.
76 years old,
Yeah,
so
that's
she's in
hard.
denial of everything.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
When she cried over his funeral, I'm like,
Is you
why
okay,
are
woman?
you crying after all the stuff we've been through?
She blocks it out.
So what happened
So
to him?
she's
I came on the tail end of this. What,
Oh, yeah. I know she didn't ever say,
Say what?
how he said he passed away.
Cancer.
cancer.
And see, that ate him up inside for whatever went on in with his health. You can't live on this earth and feel like you're gonna live a dark life and treat people any kind of way. And it does
But
not
he
affect
never
you
admitted
healthy.
to anything. But
He's
I
not. He
finally approached him though.
He was.
Oh,
You
okay.
did get
On
a
his
chance
I
to say
sure
what
did.
happened with that conversation.
Nothing. He was just froze and walked
yeah,
away.
Yeah. He couldn't
Wow,
deal
like
with
the
it. He couldn't
Color
accept
Purple.
it.
You see that movie, Color Purple?
Yes.
Like, who you
Terrible.
talking to?
Did you receive? Are you in counseling, or have you received counseling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Good. Very
That's
good.
very good.
Yeah. 3 years ago I started.
That's good.
Because I'm like, because I'm still having nightmares and that stuff stays
It's
with
all
you.
about the forgiveness.
Oh, it's all
We
about
talked
the
about forgiveness today,
Absolutely.
and this subject has been a subject that we will continue to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank our two guests for coming. Karen Tillman, the author of I'm Telling. Please go on. Are you on Facebook?
Yes, I am.
Go on her Facebook page and find out how can you get her
That
book.
book.
Not, I don't want to put it out, but is it free? It's free.
Now it is. Yeah.
It's free now. Okay, so it's free. I had to say that real low. It's free now.
Downloadable
And it's
version.
$10.
No, it's free
time
now.
it's
Oh,
free
it's
now.
gonna. It's free now. But
Free
go
now.
on her Facebook
I'm
page
going to
and
read
find
this
out
book. Woo.
how
Yeah.
can I get your book.
I have
I've
one.
been-
I have it one
Yeah,
for
okay.
you.
And so get the book, ladies and gentlemen, and understand what this young lady experience was about, and then the experience that you may know of anyone else. But on this show, we're going to continue to talk about domestic abuse
And let
and
them
how
know
it is
that
meant.
it's a way out.
And there is a way out. My sister is here. She's living and breathing story. She is here to tell it. And we thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I'm glad we reached out to you because
Oh,
we
yes.
try to, people, they send us inboxes in our sisters, Four Sisters Live on our page, and I'm glad we were able to get you on to tell your story.
Me too.
Thank you.
And whatever
Thank
you
you.
need from us, I know you're going to be out at our event, hopefully in January, and talk about these young girls and what's going on with the young people in that area as they get sexually abused. Okay. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank
She
you,
is
Deborah.
out there doing her thing with the young girls. GTE
For teens.
for teens. And that's Girl
Talk
Empowerment.
That's what I'm talking about.
Love it. Do you have a website or information you want to give out?
Yes, my website is gteforteens.org. And I'm also on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. It's called GTE for Teens as well.
And I'm going to leave with this happy note. Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden Girls is coming back. We're going to laugh. We're going to have fun. It's going to be another episode that we're now writing and putting in place. But I promise you, it's going to be so funny. And we're going to get out. And that's therapy. The laughing and all of that is just wonderful. So the Golden Girls is coming back February the 9th. It's a Sunday at the City Winery at 7 p.m. But I'm going to give you more information about that as we move forward. You all continue to have a great day. Thank you all for coming.
you. Thank
you.
Continue to have a happy holiday. Enjoy your weekend. Peggy, you came in. You just snuck on in here, girl. Our
I'm
wonderful
sorry I
founder.
missed the conversation, but I'll
this
see
is
it
a
on the
deep-
repeat.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
was wonderful. I was very excited that we had a chance to even talk about this.
Me too.
Kathy, thank you as always, sweetie pie. You're always here for
Oh
us.
yeah, I love
Really
being here.
appreciate
I always learn.
Yeah.
So I learned so much from you all. Thank you for being on the panel too.
Yeah, this
That
was
was
good,
great.
definitely. So once again, we appreciate you. We love you for watching. Continue to love one another. Have a happy and safe holiday season, and we'll see you next week. And what time is it?
It's time for you to walk in your purpose and prosperity.
Woo!
Oasis.